Happy New Year. Welcome to the first Past the Post of 2022. Hopefully it'll also be the wettest Past the Post of 2022, and it will certainly be one of the shortest because we only have one meeting here in the UAE this weekend, and it's here from a very soggy and therefore rather empty Meydan racecourse. The rain really has spoiled the party a little bit on this New Year's Day because we unfortunately will not be using the turf course, meaning we're down to 6 contests and a couple of them have been moved onto the dirt, so plenty of non-runners. However, we've still got some really exciting horses in action, including Shahama. So impressive on debut, she lines up in the 1,000 Guineas trial, and we have a strong edition of the listed Garhoud Sprint. Gladiator King could be the one to beat there if he's back to his best. 2022 is a brave new world, one in which we embraced Arabian racing with not one but 2 divisions of a 1,400-metre maiden. Bearing in mind a thoroughbred conditions race was scrapped, it was a bit of a controversial decision, but both divisions were well subscribed and competitive, and both gave us winners by just the neck. The opening one went to Al Khaliji, by far the highest rated in the field on a mark of 72. A recent purchase from the Shadwell sale by Halal Al-Alawi and Nasser Asghar, the 4-year-old just got there in time under Abdulaziz Al-Balushi to deny Jap Haddad, who ran a game race from his wide draw in 13.
But now they swing for home. Into the final 350 they go. Al Khaliji up the far side, got a race to run with Haddad nearest us, giving quite an onslaught. They well clear of Barik, who's third, and then comes Rami. It's Haddad nearest us. Al Khaliji up the far side needs to scramble back. They well clear of Rami, who's third. It's still Haddad. Haddad fights hard. Al Khaliji up the inside with one late lunge and got there. Al Khaliji won.
It was the 5th winner of the season for Halal, who has a relatively new association with NASA.
First race for her, first time out in the country. It was from the horses we bought from Shadwell sale, and she ran well. And we hope that she can go and do better races in the 8 furlongs.
Oh, okay. And what did you like about her at the sale? Why was she the one you wanted to buy?
Actually, she ran before, I think, in UK 3 races, and she did well in that races, some places, and plus very nice pedigree, very nice conformation too. That's why we take this filly plus some others at stables.
And Nasser's a lucky owner. How many horses does he have with you?
Not many actually, but hopefully in the future he will give us more.
On to race 2, which was slightly less competitive. It nearly went to jockey Manuel Martinez on his first ever UAE ride. His debutant Bahia running a mighty race in second. But Fakir and Antonio Frezu spoiled the party, arriving in the centre of the track just in time.
They reached the final 350 metres and Bahia at the outside went on the attack with Matakil dropping into second. Fakar gets into the open. There's a length and a half down and won't give up the ghost. They followed further back by Shara. It's Bahia with Fakar's trying to bear down. Bahia has still got a length advantage into the final 100 metres. Fakar nearest us, eating into that lead, getting closer, getting there with each and every stride, and Fakar got there from Bahia.
The win was a first at Meydan for trainer Ibrahim Al-Hadrami, who, like Kelal, is based in the depths of Al Ain. Before embarking on a 2-hour journey home, his son and head lad, Al Warith, gave an eloquent debrief.
We've been running in Meydan for a long time, but we came second a lot of time. But this was our lucky charm, and hopefully the opener to many upcoming winners.
He deserved the win, didn't he? 'Cause he'd been really consistent up until now.
Yeah, he was a really good horse. We've been waiting for him to break his maiden for a long time. The track was really challenging today. His gate was the first one, so he raced twice today, 2 races rather than 1. Yeah, it was a really good achievement for him.
And tell me about your operation, because you're Ibrahim's son and also the head lad.
Yes. I'm his son. I grew up in the stable, and once I was capable of handling the responsibility, I became a head lad with my father since last season. Yeah.
And you've done really well, all of you there. Tell me a little bit about the stables. How many horses do you have in at the moment? How many for the Royal Cavalry?
For the Royal Cavalry, we have more than 10 horses. Overall, we have 40 plus approximately, but they vary. All of them Arabians, many from Omani owners, and many also are homebred here at our operation Bin Shahwan Stables. We operate the stable. We have homebreds such as Ihtisham, a group winner, and it's our stable is still on the rise. since our 2017 season, we've been really constant on our winners.
On to the Thoroughbreds, and the first of 2 races moved to the dirt from the waterlogged turf. It paid to stick with those who had some experience of the track, and the best of those turned out to be the Bupat Sema trained conglomerate, who put 3 fairly average runs behind him. Ridden by Tygo Shea, he travelled just behind the leaders and rallied where it mattered, holding off Godolphin's King of Conquest by a neck.
They reach the final 500 metres. Guiding them in his Night of Luxury, Sorry Dubai, though, is right there. Then comes Conglomerate, who's a length down in third. King of Conquest is fourth. Then a few lengths away to Nada, but at the 300 metres mark, first timer, Sorry Dubai runs a cracker with Conglomerate at the outside and King of Conquest warming into the race, still 2 lengths down. They followed by Night of Luxury. It's Conglomerate in the lead. King of Conquest still trying to come out of the pack, trying to chase down Conglomerate, who sticks to his guns. It's Conglomerate in the lead. King of Conquest won't get there. Conglomerate won.
So no luck for Charlie Appleby there, but the newly crowned British champion trainer did get off the mark in the next, the off-turf Nadal Sheba Classic. A winner on dirt here in March, the change of surface was unlikely to affect Desert Peace too much, and the 5-year-old dominated the race from the front under William Buick, finding more when asked and just holding off Saeed bin Sarour's big team by a neck.
They approach the final 400 metres and Desert Peace brings them in. Seems to have shaken off Irish Freedom. Big team in the all blue is third. Towards the far side is Brilliant Light. It's still Desert Peace in the lead by 2. Irish Freedom won't give up and tries to come out of the pack with big team starting to steam home. Towards the outside is Desert Peace accelerated. Big team Irish Freedom lining up for second. Then comes Brilliant Light. It's still Desert Peace. Got 100 metres left to see out with big team still trying to get on terms, but Desert Peace has lasted.
So that's 4 races down, all 4 won by a neck. Not to worry, the machine that is Shahama was up next, facing 10 rivals in the UAE 1000 Guineas trial. Saeed bin Sarour had won 3 of the last 4 editions of this, but the best he could do this time was Beautiful Secret 6th behind 5 locals. Braking a little slowly, Shahama had to be asked to keep her position early by Adri de Vries, but when the gap opened for her, she was again too good, winning by 2.5 lengths from Shinyar, who put up a good run in second.
Now they're about to be homeward bound, 500 metres out, and Shadzadi guards them in with Minwar right there. Then comes Shinyar. They followed by Shahama, who just needs to get out of traffic. The big white face on the back of the leader, and now tries to bust through with Little Aphrodite nearest us at Shadzadi. But here comes Shahama, gathering on terms. Shinyar was next. They followed by Little Aphrodite, but now Shahama goes for home. She ran into a bit of traffic at the top of the straight. Shahama, bred to be good, looks to be good. Shahama is good. She won by 3. Shinyar ran second, then came Shadzadi in third.
The win completed an excellent weekend for Fauzi Nas, who also won another edition of the Bahrain Turf Series races the day before. Absent due to overseeing his team in Saudi, it was left to Adri to give the verdict on their latest stable star.
7 furlong is the minimum distance. She's got a big stride, so she's naturally not so quick in her stride. We went very fast. I was never in trouble. I was following William Buick, but his horse kind of stopped in the turn, so I had to make a move. Was in a bit of a pocket, but she was going well enough to get me out of there, and she learned a lot today. I was happy things didn't go that smooth. Last time she didn't really learn a lot. I was wide all the way, and today, she did it the hard way.
She seems quite responsive. Everything you ask her to do, she does.
Yeah, she does, but she doesn't overdo it. I thought today when she hit the front, she was kind of waiting for something, so she's getting quite clever.
Was that why you wanted to run tonight, you and the owners of Fauzi, to give her a bit more experience?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that was the reason why, and I'm glad we did. I was a bit afraid for the conditions today because it's totally different, and I think the ground gets quite firm now with all the rain. But she handled it well. And
on to the Guineas, a mile, as you say, will be better for her?
Definitely, yeah. An extra mile will be better, even further, I would think. The extra mile will definitely help.
I'm not going to get too close to the horses for our feature race this evening, the Gahoo Springs. I don't want to freak them out with my umbrella, but I don't like getting wet, and the weather is still disgusting. Anyway, Gladiator King is the one I want to focus on. I love this horse. He's number 4. I think he is still one of the best dirt sprinters here in the UAE, but we didn't really see the best of him last season. He had a foot abscess that ruled him out of World Cup night, and I believe he's also had some sort of throat wind op. So there's reason to believe that he should be a better horse this season. Looking at him in the parade ring, he's maybe carrying a little bit of condition, and this is a very strong edition of this race. It's actually being run for the first time in January, and we've got some nice ones in here that he has to beat, including Switzerland from the same stable. So let's see what happens. Gladiator King reared in the stalls and had to pass a vet check before taking his chance. That might not have helped him, but even so, he couldn't lay a glove on stablemate Switzerland, who romped home with a 9 1/4 length advantage under Ty Gaucher, much the same as he did in the Dubai Stakes last year.
Karama still on the sharp end and still got it by around a length over Gladiator King, who's out in second. Lava Spin made a sweeping and brave move around the outside of runners. Further back then to Switzerland, who also went past a few on the wall path, has lost a few places. King Leo goes up and down to the final 300 metres, and Al Karama can't shrug off Switzerland, and Switzerland kicks for home and burst clear. Gladiator King is second. Al Karama, Lava Spin didn't go on with it, but this is all Switzerland. Switzerland in front by about 6 lengths and comes past doing handstands. Switzerland much too good. Second goes to Gladiator King.
The win continued an excellent run of form for Bhupat, who could feasibly win the championship in his first season with a licence. It's too soon to ponder that though. The next start for his star sprinters is a more pressing issue.
Lovely performance, really pleased with it. He's been training really well this year. He's a different animal than what he was last year. And we were expecting really good things out of him. He did a gate work, and I've never seen a gate work like that before.
What's made the difference, do you think?
You know, I think we know the horse better now. You know, last year he came in and, you know, we trained him, he did well. But I think this year we know that what he wants, what he doesn't want. And I think that's what made the difference. And also I'd like to say thank you to His Highness Sheikh Rashid for sending us the horse and for all the support.
Because, of course, he owns Gladiator King as well. I thought that was a good run. He's got a few stalls issues to overcome, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, you know, he has been better in the stall at home, and we've schooled him quite a lot. But, you know, I think it's one of those things that with racing, hopefully it'll go away with him.
Anyway, a better run from him. But back to the winner. He went to Saudi last year. Will you be tempted by that again, do you think?
I would think so. You know, we'd have to sit with the connections and decide, since they've got 2 good sprinters, so maybe, you know, it's probably best thing to split them up.
And the win earlier, of course, with Conglomerate. Bit of a surprise or not?
Well, actually, on his homework, he's been very good. We've just been unlucky with him. You know, we ran him up the hill, and you know, it just didn't suit him. And on the flat, his training was very good. Yes, it was a bit of a surprise, but I thought he would run a better race anytime he's run here.
You're in great form at the moment. Things must be a happy place to work.
Yeah. I mean, we've got a great team, and you know, we've got incredible people who work behind us. And you know, I take the trophy, but they do the job.
That's it from Maidan, whose track team deserve credit for producing a safe night of racing. We're back there on Friday, when the fancy sounding Zabeel Trophy is among 7 races currently scheduled. So how did this weekend's sole meeting affect the championship standings? In the jockeys race, Ty Gaucher's double helped him to a now 5 advantage over Antonio Fresu, with Pat Cosgrave away back in 3rd with 12 wins. Bernardo Pinheiro and Pat Dobbs make up the top 5. On to the trainers, where Bhupat Seemar's double helped him close the gap on second-placed Abdullah Al-Hamadi to just 1. It was a quiet weekend for Doug Watson, but he remains on top with 19. There's no change in the owners' standings. Al Ajban maintaining their lead of 4 over Khalid Al Nabuda. Shadwell stay in 3rd on 9, ahead of a resurgent Al Rashid on 8. The Carnival is coming up. 8 weeks of top-class racing getting underway on January the 14th. To give you some more info on that, and to make this programme longer, here's top trainer Ian Williams on his 5-strong team. You're targeting Dubai in a big way this year. 5 horses potentially coming over.
Yeah, well, we always like Dubai. We've had some great success there in the past, and it's always fun for the owners to come over. And the prize money's good, and the racing's good, and it's a fun place to be in January, February. So we hope to get out there and maybe stay for a little while longer.
Oh, it'd be great to have you. Of course, fond memories of winning there with Sir Max a few years ago.
Absolutely, although I never got out there on the days that he won. But we look forward to being out there a few times this year, and hopefully we've got some quality horses to bring over, so hopefully they'll be able to pick up some spoils as well.
And you've got Cap Francais coming over, who he kind of knows his way around at Maidangs. He was out there last year.
Yeah, he was out there with Ed Walker last year and ran very respectably in a couple of his starts. He came back from there with a small injury, and that when he went to the sales, that was what really interested me with him, because I thought we could get over the injury. And he'd had a break all summer, so he'll be going out to Dubai. He'll have run on Boxing Day in England, and he'll come out a relatively fresh horse, and having been prepared just for Dubai, so he should get there in tip-top condition and very fresh, so we're looking forward to him a lot.
And what sort of races are you going to look at for him? Kind of the 10 furlong turf?
Yeah, we'll stick. We ran him over a mile on the all-weather just to see if he was going to be effective for the mile, and he's probably just, in our view, not got enough pace for a mile, so we'll be sticking to the mile and 1 and the mile and 2 races.
And he's for a kind of a new partnership of existing clients?
Yeah, he's a partnership of 2 guys that you'd know very well in Dubai, or not 2 guys that you'd know very well in Dubai. Hikesh Palmer, who's always been very fond of his Dubai racing, is very involved out with you guys. 2 new clients to Dubai, Spencer Coombs and Scott Parker, and Alan Dale, who lives in Dubai most of the year, and he's had horses out there before with one of the South African trainers. So a good team, and they'll enjoy themselves, and they're all looking forward to spending time out in Dubai.
And they also have Highland Dress, who has got a nice dirt pedigree.
He's got a great dirt pedigree, and it was with that in mind. I think the dirt races can sometimes be slightly less competitive than the turf races, and he's run once for us and performed very well. We're very happy with that race, and he'll arrive in Dubai again, having had a break. He spent some time in the paddock during the summer, and he'll arrive out there a fresh horse, so be ready for some racing.
Yeah, was he one, presumably when you all bought him, it was partly because of that pedigree, the Shamadar?
Totally because of the pedigree, and totally with Dubai in mind. What was nice was to be able to give him a break, so he had the summer out at grass, and we brought him back in and basically got him ready just for Dubai. So it's not an afterthought, it's something that we've prepared him and Cap Francais to do. So, they would be the 2 horses that we'd be very hopeful of coming out to Dubai.
East Asia, I love this horse. He's a small little thing, I realise, but he came from Dubai, having not managed to win over there for Sayed, and you've won 4 races with him.
Yeah, he managed to do really well, and the interesting thing was, the first day he won, I didn't have any confidence at all, and the ground had gone a little bit on the slow side, and he won, and won very convincingly, and the handicapper put him up £12, I think, and I rang him up and I said, this is ridiculous. He's a small horse, he's only achieved this. Anyway, he bolted up the next time, so I had to ring the handicapper back up and say, look, I do apologise, I obviously got this wrong. But he's done very well, and he too had a break at the beginning of the autumn. He came back and ran in a couple of very competitive races, but he'll go out a relatively fresh horse as well. But it's quite fascinating to have a horse that was in Dubai to be bringing him back as an invited horse from the UK. So that should be fun, and I'm sure Said will really enjoy that.
Yeah, and Said's been a great addition to the yard. He's so enthusiastic, isn't he?
Oh, he loves his racing, and loves the racing in Dubai, but he's enjoyed his racing in the UK this year. Just with the travel implications, it's not been easy for him to come over, but hopefully we'll make it to Royal Ascot with him next year at some stage, and he can come and enjoy the fun.
That'd be amazing. And then the other 2 came from France, starting with Enemy, who was in England, and then went over to France of Graffard.
Yeah, Enemy was a horse that was in training with John Gosden initially, and then went over to France and did quite well for Francois Graffard, I think it was. We've been delighted with him since he came over, and he's not been over-raced, and he looks to have a good bit of ability as well. He might just go on the dirt as well, but there's a little programme for him on the turf, and I think he's a horse who still might just improve a little. He's a very striking individual. We like him a lot, and we'll look forward to him being out there.
Exciting. And the other one, Halifon, another one that came from Arcana.
Yeah, he was actually quite a cheap purchase, and we didn't have, although he was rated highly enough to come out to Dubai. We didn't really have that in mind, but he started working and we've been very, very impressed with his work. And again, he's not been over-raced in France this year and he seems very sound, so we've put him on the list, and it's quite likely that he'll travel with the other 4.
I'm really looking forward to that. And the plans are that they will travel on the 5th, and you might look to run a couple on the 13th?
Yeah, we've got some plans laid out, but they'll travel over on the 5th, and depending on how they fly, hopefully we'll start having runners on the 13th.
Before we go, it's Ride of the Week time. William Buick was having his first ride back after a holiday, and first here since the World Cup, so it might have been hard work on Desert Peace. All the same, he judged it just right on the front, on his progressive mount. Can this go to anyone other than Shahama? We don't think so. The daughter of Munnings has a UAE 1000 guineas firmly on her radar after taking her career tally to 2 from 2 in the trial. Maybe she can also take her connections to the UAE Derby, with a step up in trip right up her street. Exciting times for Team NAS. That's it after a quiet weekend, but don't worry, things get hectic from here on in, with 4 meetings scheduled for each of the next 3 weekends. On Friday, we're back at Maidan. Then it's Al Ain, Sharjah and Abu Dhabi, who switch to mainly Mondays. That means Past the Post moves to Tuesday from next week. Speak to you then.